Magandang araw, podmates! Howie Severino muli, kasama ngayon ang kapwa kapuso journalist na si Mav Gonzales na kasama ko
Hi!
ngayon bilang bagong regular host ng Eyewitness, ang pinakamatagal ng documentary show sa ating bansa. Magandang araw sa iyo, Mav. Congratulations at welcome sa Eyewitness.
Thank you, Sir Howie. Alam niyo, sobrang kinikilig pa rin ako. Minsan di ko pa rin, minsan di pa rin po nagsisink in.
Yeah, well, thank you. No, we're so happy you're joining us, and we're so happy you're here with us sa ating podcast ngayon. Alam ko nasa Spain ka ngayon, no? Umaga diyan. Ano naman ang mission mo sa Spain?
Actually po, itong bakasyon na to ay pre-COVID pa.
Oh.
2020 pa to nakabook with one of my best friends. But then, she had problems with her visa. So now, akong yung tumuloy. So I will be traveling Spain, Portugal, Italy, and Morocco. So medyo magso-soul searching trip tayo, Sir Howie, kasi mag-isa po ako.
Oh my, okay. Well, on the one hand, disappointment dahil, inaasahan mo may kasama ka. But on the other hand, no, malaking opportunity din yan. Not just for soul searching, but, to pursue your own interest. And ako, mahilig din ako mag-solo travel noong kabataan ko eh. So, so how are you thinking about traveling alone? No? I mean, hindi ka ba natatakot? I mean, lalo na, babae ka, you're going to countries like Morocco na ibang-iba talaga yung kultura, no?
Ano po parang kasi medyo meron na kaming set na itinerary. But then there were some things that I really wanted to do na parang ngayon, I can just do it whenever I want. Like yesterday, I didn't want to have dinner. So pumunta lang ako sa market, bumili ako ng tapas. That was it. And it's something that I wouldn't have been able to do kung meron po akong kasama. And parang mas masaya lang kasi mas spontaneous yung trip. Parang kung ano yung gusto mo gawin, okay, let's go. And yung bag laging nasa harap. Yun ang paalala sa akin ng mga friends ko na nakatira dito. Ang bag mo palaging nasa harapan lang.
But wait, for what reason? For security or anong?
For security, because apparently maraming pickpockets.
Yes, mabuti conscious ka sa ganun. Sa totoo lang, sa haba ng career ko na may dalang camera, sa Europe lang ako nawala ng camera. Sa Pilipinas.
Saan po dito?
Sa Pilipinas,
Saan
hindi
po
ako
dito?
nawawalang. Sa Pilipinas hindi ako nawawalang gamit eh kasi siguro mas maingat ako rito. Tapos pagdating sa Europe, akala mo trustworthy yung mga tao, no? Pero doon pa kami nawala ng camera, no? So I want to ask you about Eyewitness nga, no? Because nakailang docu episodes ka na rin sa Eyewitness, no? Bilang substitute host or reliever,
Yes,
no? Sa mga nakaraang taon. I saw your episodes on yung transnene. Iba-iba yung mga topics mo eh. May tungkol sa lechon, may pumasok ka sa kuweba sa Pangasinan.
Yes po.
Pero ito regular host ka na. Kumbaga siguro 'yun ang parang naging audition mo na 'yon, no? So siguro nagustuhan ng mga boss natin yung mga outputs mo noon. Ngayon, regular host ka na. Ang una mong docu as a regular host, umere nung Pebrero lang, no?
Yes po.
Yun ang tungkol sa dating at yung mga naghahanap ng partner online, yung swipe right, swipe wrong ang pamagat. Bakit ito yung napiling topic o yung pinili mong topic para sa una mong episode as a regular host sa Eyewitness?
Siguro po kasi parang ang gusto rin ng iWit is something na millennials and mga Gen Z and even the younger ones will be able to relate to. And this is something that I think I kind of know something about because I also tried dating apps. And yung isa po sa mga case study namin, my lola, 69 years old, nagde-dating app. So I was very curious, parang hindi lang pala yung mga kaedad ko yung nagde-dating app. Parang ang dami palang gumagawa nito. And at the same time, nasakto po nung time na mag-shoot na for the first episode na may mga na-rescue na Pilipino na traffic sila sa Cambodia and Myanmar. And ang ginagamit nila para mang-scam ay dating apps. So sabi ko, ang daming naloloko even without the mga modus. And gayon pa na may modus, parang dapat i-alert natin yung mga tao na huwag kayo masyadong kampante when you're using dating apps. Not everybody you meet there is a real person. Kailangan you have to be careful. And some people, kasi po Sir How, parang paano ba? Marupok. Marupok. Parang pagka-feeling nila meron silang nakitang good match. Wala na, all logic flies out of the window.
Well,
So
human
that's
nature yan
something,
eh. Mm.
yes, yun nga po. So sabi ko, that was something that we wanted to show na, of course, we want to be optimistic, especially when you're trying to find love and relationships. Pero you also have to be careful para hindi ka mabiktima.
Mhm. Well, yung isang case study mo doon, yung lola mo. Actually, kapatid siya ng lola mo, tama ba? Parang
Yes po.
grand tita,
Grand
no?
aunt.
Grand
Opo.
aunt, oo, na in fact may sumubok na lokohin siya, 'di ba?
Yes.
And then finally, meron siyang na-meet online through one of these dating apps na mukhang there's something evolving there, no?
Mm-hmm.
'Di ba? So it's still an unfolding story, no? So just
Yes.
out of curiosity kasi nung isang buwan pa na lumabas yun. So tuloy meron ano man, may progress naman yung kanilang chikahan online, no? I mean,
Opo.
okay,
Mm-mm.
that's good. That's good.
Yung po, this guy, Sir Howie, is actually based in Spain. Kaya
Mm-mm.
lang, malayo siya
Oo.
sa akin. So, hindi kami makapagkita kasi the Spaniards, apparently, meron lang silang schedule when they could take their breaks. And his vacation time is Holy Week and August. So, sa August po, balak niyang pumunta ng Pilipinas para mag-meet
Okay.
sila ng lola ko.
Okay. But the fact na may dahilan ngayon, nasa Spain ka na nga eh, 'di ba? Na
Mhm.
hindi niya pwedeng hindi siya pwedeng makipagkita sa iyo. That didn't create any doubts na legit siya. I mean, 'di ba? I mean, I'm sure your
Mhm.
grandtita found out na pupunta kang Spain. I'm sure nag-usap kayo no na baka pwede mong i-check out ito. Wala bang ganun or
Mhm.
talagang nagtitiwala na siya and he's just looking forward to meeting him in person sa atin?
Actually, ako po yung mas worry eh. Ako yung sabi ko, ang layo na kaya ng binahe ko, ayaw pa niya ako i-meet somewhere dito. But then, of course, I also think na, I don't know, kasi hindi pa naman sila kasal, and hindi naman ako yung lola ko, so parang siya, ako lang naman to, parang wala naman ako mapapala if I meet her and travel all the way to Madrid. So sabi ko, "O, sige na nga, o bahala ka, basta sa August, pag nag-meet kayo, especially for the first meeting, kailangan kasama kami, or somebody else na hindi pwedeng one-on-one ang first meeting."
Oo, mukhang mas concerned pa kayo no sa kanya kaysa sa
No, opo.
But you yourself, no, you've been quite open about your own life, and of course, you talk about your own search, no, in this episode on online dating apps, no, and then you've been quite open about your own life as a single.
Mhm.
So why do you share these aspects of your life?
I think parang the first time that I did this, it was Valentine's Day, many years ago, sir. And parang, kasi I always get these comments na, "Hoy, tumatanda ka na, sayang ka naman, parang mamaya di ka na magkaanak, baka malipasan ka ng panahon." And for the longest time, it was funny lang. But then I realized na, to me, siguro it's funny, but then to other women who are about my age or a bit older na, they take it personally na parang they tend to settle, they tend to like get desperate because they
Mhm.
feel like the relationship is the only way they would find their worth. And kahit na hindi nila masyado bet yung lalaki, parang sila, ito na yung nandito, sige na nga, ganyan. So, I posted something, sabi ko po, mabuti nang wala kaysa mali. And a lot of people really resonated with it, pati lalaki, na parang kung hindi naman okay talaga yung babae, di let's try to find someone else. And I feel like this journey, because it's been a very long time, it's been, ilan na ba? Mag 9 years na. Magna 9 years na that I'm single. But I do date. But the 9 years, I feel like it's also been a journey with my friends, with cousins my age, and with some people na I become friends with on social media na we're all in this together. Parang let's not settle. And, I feel like if the Lord provides, the Lord will provide, and there will be no hassle to it. So, ako naman po, I'm just open to sharing it just so other people see na parang, oh, siya nga she has a good career also, she's doing well, she travels and stuff, and she doesn't find na parang kakulangan sa buhay yun if you're still single.
Yeah. Well, actually, bihirang pag-usapan yan, no? In such a public way, no? So I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to, encourage some frank discussion about it, and at the same time, trying to change attitudes, no? Ako mismo, I kind of felt a similar social pressure, not to get married, but after I got married, matagal kaming walang
Mhm.
anak, no? So ibang
Mhm.
klaseng pressure 'yon na every time you show up somewhere, ganun, parang, "Uy, tumatanda na kayo." Ano, 'di ba? Sayang naman yung genes niyo. I mean, I kind of heard a similar nakaka-pressure din, no? You try to joke about it and try to brush it off. Pero yung pag paulit-ulit na, you kind of, yun nga, I actually did a docu about it, about the difficulty of having children, no?
Mhm.
For some couples, it's so easy, di ba? I mean, they have 5, 6 children, para maiinggit ka.
Mhm.
Bakit sila napakadali? Sobra kaming nahirapan, and we only have one, no? We're not going to
Mhm.
have more, and even up to now, sinasabi sa amin na parang ang tipid mo naman, no? Di ba?
Mhm.
Buti nga, ako lagi ko sinasabi, buti nga nagkaroon ng isa, di ba? But back to being single, no? Kasi na-interview ko si Dr. Margie Holmes around Valentine's Day, no? And then we chose to talk about those who feel left out on Valentine's Day, no? Kasi nabanggit mo nga na ikaw nga, you kind of you were hearing a lot of these comments around that time, no? And itong si Margie Holmes, yung relationship advice columnist, no? And she's
Mhm.
written books about advice, about her advice about relationships, romance, sex, etc. No? She has been calling for a stop, no, na dito sa pagse-shame ng mga singles, no? Sinasabi niya dapat tigilin na itong shaming ng mga single, irespeto natin yung pagiging single as a choice, no? uh,
Mhm.
it's a choice, no? And kasi sa ibang kultura, maybe even there in Europe and Spain, no, you're not going to be bothered much about it. And there are many people, many women who actually probably choose to be single. I've met a lot of
Mhm.
women actually who choose to be single, even Filipinas, no? So dito sa atin, dahil nga you're encouraging a more open and frank discussion about it, and maybe trying to change attitudes, may napapansin ka ba na pagbabago sa social
Mhm.
attitudes tungkol dito, tungkol sa mga ibang bagay na dapat matter of choice? How many children you should have, or whether you should have children, or whether you should get married. There are certain expectations of us, no, traditionally,
Mhm.
pero dahil we're modern people now, 'di ba? We're hoping na magbago na rin yung attitudes ng mga tao. So, meron ka rin ba napapansin na pagbabago pagdating sa mga social
Mhm.
attitudes?
To be honest, Sir Howie, parang ngayon, especially kasi sa social media, dun ko kasi nakikita yung mga tao, hindi ka naman talaga masyadong kilala. Mas marami sa mga bata ang ganito na yung mindset na parang kung wala pa, edi wala pa. Parang let's go have fun, let's do something else. But there are still some from the older generations. Sila yung mas nagko-comment na parang, hoy, 33 ka na, wala ka pa ring asawa, wala ka pa ring boyfriend, parang what are you doing with your life? Na
Mm.
parang, yun nga, dumating na rin po sa akin, Sir Howie, yung comment na sayang naman yung jeans mo.
Mm. Mm.
And parang sometimes I do engage, like sometimes I would reply dun sa mga nagko-comment ng gano'n, but in a very nice way or a funny way. But for the most part, especially yung mga kaedad ko po, millennials, Gen Z, we share the same sentiment na I think there's this mentality na yung mga millennials and the younger generations, we are after experiences. Like the older generations, they were, let's go buy a house, let's go buy a car. But the next generation,
Material
siguro dahil
things,
ang
in other
mahal
words.
din,
Oo.
yes, siguro dahil ang mahal din ng bahay at ng kotse ngayon. So yung mga millennial parang, okay, let's go for experiences, let's go eat out, let's go travel. And it fills up their life in a way na hindi naman na iisang tabi yung relationships, but it doesn't become such a highlight. It doesn't become such a priority na parang, I need to find someone for me to be happy. Because you can be happy in other ways. And you mentioned, Sir Howie, na sa Pilipinas, yun masyado pa rin silang ma mapansin sa ganyan. Actually, dito po, dahil nga mag-isa ako naglalakad from the airport hanggang makarating ako dito, no one looks at me. Dahil mag-isa ako, I eat by myself, I walk by myself, even sa tour bus, I'm by myself. No one looks at me weird. But if you do it in the Philippines, because I've tried it in the Philippines, sometimes I like eating out by myself. People look at you na parang, what's wrong? Parang was she stood up by her date? Bakit siya mag-isa? I think it's also, it's a Filipino culture na parang, I think we're super bent on family and having a spouse, having kids na parang they worry for you when you're single and you're medyo, getting old na.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I think it's a personal preference. Like for me personally, I would love to have kids, but if I don't get married na soon and I don't have the kids, wala eh. Parang that's the card for me. It's
Mhm.
not something that would make me feel like, oh, I'm less of a person because this didn't happen for me. And I
Mhm.
hope that's also how other people feel, especially yung mga babae kasi kami yung may biological
Yeah,
clock.
oo. Yeah, yeah. Well, as you said, it's mostly an attitude of older generations, and
Mhm.
eventually, syempre, lilipas din yan, and
Mhm.
papalitan ng mga millennial katulad mo, and you're doing exactly as what you're saying. I mean, you're there, experiencing life, experiencing new things, di ba? And masaya ka. So, I think what we really just need to do is respect each other's choices, di ba?
Mhm.
May mga tao na hanggang na siguro ka-age mo rin na or maybe younger na, ang priority pa rin ay maghanap ng asawa, magkaanak, etc. And inirespeto rin natin yun. But there are many
Mhm.
other options in life now, no? And yun, I admire your attitude about it and the way you're handling it. So yun, mabuhay ka, no? I want to
But
shift a
but
little bit.
I still take referrals, Sir Howie, ah.
Yeah, okay. Sige, sige. I do have friends who are eligible and have sterling qualities that you maybe, but sige, pag-usapan natin yan on the side, no? But I wanna shift a little bit to documentary, a common interest, a common passion, no? Kasi you've joined our program. You've called it a legacy program, no? It is I would think it's one of the longest running public affairs shows on Philippine TV. If not the longest running, no? May mga
Mhm.
mas matagal pang show, no? But they're more in about entertainment, no? Pero yung atin ay public affairs. It's a documentary show. It's long form journalism, no? So I don't know of any other program like it na mas matagal pa, no? So tama yung sinabi mong it's a legacy show, but at the same time it's forward looking. We're trying to make it relevant for the current generations and for future generations. And that's why, you were welcome to the show dahil you are younger than all of us current hosts, no? So sabi mo, tumatanda ka, but you're still younger than any of us now, no? Nagsabay kayo ni John Consulta. I don't know kung sino yung mas matanda sa inyo, but you're of the same
Mhm.
similar generation, no? But I want to point out something to our listeners dahil 5 years ago sa isang in-interview ka ng isang estudyante pero pinost sa YouTube. Nahanap ko lang when I was searching your name there, no? Sinabi mong isa sa mga pangarap mo ay gumawa ng mga dokumentaryo. And this is 5 years ago, no? So you were covering, you were covering significant news, no? Nagbe-24 oras ka na, you were covering Pacquiao, etc., no? So medyo importante yung role mo sa GMA, but you had other ambitions, no? So ngayon, isa ka ng host ng Eyewitness, no? Ano bang naging attraction para sa iyo yung docu? Bakit sinabi mo noon pa, 5 years ago, and maybe you had that aspiration even longer before that, no? To do docus, no? So ano ba yung nag-attract sa iyo na gumawa ng docu?
Nung college po, meron kaming class, documentary class literally. And nanonood lang kami ng mga documentaries and then we would discuss so parang what did you like about it, what didn't work. And I really enjoyed it. And coming out of college, kasi po ako, journalism yung track ko, I was writing long form. So, nung paglipat ko ng GMA na nagsusulat ako ng news, that was new to me. I wasn't used to writing in such short form. Parang, I feel like parang hala, ang daming nawalang side stories, ang daming nawalang color stories dahil we have very limited airtime in the news. So, I was really looking forward to writing more and not cutting out so much out of the story. And my family, mahilig po kami manood ng mga documentaries. And particularly, mga historical and crime documentaries. So, as in we would watch the ones na series, yung multi-part na mga documentaries. So, that was really interesting to me. Like, it's very interesting to me how they would be able to go back to a case parang 50 years ago and then find out something new now and then solve it. That was something that I really wanted to do. But of course now, especially with the technology we have in the Philippines, it's not gonna be possible to do things like that in the near future. So for me now, parang I really wanted to be a part of Eyewitness because I wanted to do longer stories and feature more stories na share ko siya, like give it justice, give the topic justice. Because there are stories na hindi mo pwede ikwento in 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Like even the 30 minutes sometimes it's very short. But of course, parang that's better than 5 minutes. And there are stories also na hindi ko naman po nagagawa sa news. Like, for example, eto lang, the last one, yung kunwari dating apps, I don't think magagawa siya sa news. So, ito po is an outlet for me to do stories that are interesting to me, but like not necessarily very, very current. Kaya gagawin din siya ng news. And I don't know, parang the adventure, pati po yung mga pumapasok ng kuweba, ganyan. It's fun. It's fun to me. Like it's something that I would do even if I wasn't doing a documentary about it. And it's nice to be able to do that and like record the whole process. And I feel like most, if not all, of the people that we really respect in Philippine journalism, they went through eyewitness at a certain point in their career. So that was something na parang I aspired na to be able to do something na like my family would remember na parang, oh, she was part of eyewitness, ganyan. And it would be a nice story to tell when I'm old. It's not necessarily na parang, oh, I want recognition from other people. It's more of the recognition from my family. And I just want to share this one story quick. My lolo died right after I graduated college. Super fan po siya ng GMA. As in, ang TV namin sa bahay, hindi natatanggal sa GMA. Pag ilipat mo yun para manood ng ibang show, magagalit siya. So, itong lolo ko na to, nung pag-graduate na po ako ng college, because I took up journalism, he said, mag-GMA ka ha. Mag-GMA News and Public Affairs ka. Sabi niya, pangarap daw niya na mapanood ako sa TV. Of course, hindi niya na ako napanood. But, just the thought na parang, oh, Papa, like I did it. I made it. Na the things that you wanted for me when you were alive, I'm actually doing it now. I wish you could have seen it, but at least my lolas are still here so they can see na parang I was able to do it.
Well, I admire that ambition, of course, no? Kasi mahal ko rin ang eyewitness, of course, for so many years. This has been my primary occupation, ano? But yung generation mo kasi lalo na siguro yung younger generations, no? Mas mahilig manood ng short form, no? As in less than a minute long. Of course, yung pinakapatok na platform ngayon, yung TikTok, ay ang karamihan ng videos diyan wala pang 1 minuto. And that consumes the attention of millions and millions of people who might, kung wala yung ganyang platforms, baka mas manonood sila ng mga docu, no? So, ako minsan I'm kind of worried about the documentary format, no? And its future in TV. But ikaw, sa tingin mo may future pa ang long form? You have a longer future than I do in this profession, no? So are you hoping to have a long future in docu? May future ba yung long form, and may audience pa? Is a related question.
I think so. Because a lot of the people na, especially my age so millennials, I'm not very sure about the Gen Z. Millennials, dahil nga po parang lahat ng nakikita natin sa social media, ang iigsi. They want to find something more meaningful, something longer. And a lot of my friends, they really enjoy watching documentaries, even the longer ones, hindi lang yung 30 minutes ng eyewitness. Because parang na-overload na sila with little things that don't really contain a lot of information and a lot of substance sa social media. So, sometimes they want to find something na, alam mo yun, mas may laman. And as per their feedback, not just the eyewitness episodes that I do, but like the others, they enjoy it. Kasi sabi nila, oh, parang medyo nabuo yung story. Instead of like 1 minute lang nanonood ka. And for me, it's also a way to relax my brain. Because kapag po nagsuscroll ka sa social media, parang andar siya ng andar dahil nga ang easy lang nung nakikita mo. But when you're sitting down in front of the TV, you're stuck with this show for an hour or so, parang okay, medyo tama lang yung pace ng utak ko. Hindi ako masyado nasi-stress. And in such a busy pace ng mundo ngayon, pace of our job even, it's something I enjoy. Nag-enjoy ako na medyo mag-slow down and watch these shows. Actually po, meron pang mga nag-comment sa akin na parang bitin naman yung ano, kasi 'di ba pagka without the commercials mga 27, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Sinasabi nila bitin daw yung 30 minutes. Pero
Mhm.
sabi ko naman, wala naman tayong magagawa, yun lang yung length natin. So, I feel like there's a market for it. And millennials are not going away for a very long time. We're here for siguro mga 40
Yeah,
years
oo.
pa.
Well, sana tumanda kayo na mahilig pa rin manood ng docu
Opo.
paminsan-minsan. Yeah, so
Mm-mm.
but, I have to say, oo nga, parang yung mga docu natin sa Eyewitness, they're about 27, 28 minutes long. No? But when I started out, over 45 minutes yan, no? So paiksi rin ng paiksi, no? So hopefully they don't shorten it even more. Kasi
Mhm.
yun na yung may pinakamahabang storya sa non-fiction on TV,
Mm-mm.
'di ba? But itong paggawa ng docu is just the latest chapter in your career, no? Because you've had a long career already. You know, you're much younger than me, and yet you've had a pretty long career already in media. If you include yung stint mo sa children's TV, no, children's show, na kasi
Oh.
naging host ka
Dami ko
ng
na.
Chikiting Patrol, no? Na
Opo.
I was part of the probe team, and I got to know some of the child hosts of our
Of
own
five and up.
show there, Five and Up. Oh, and sila Atom Arroyo, that's also where they got their start. But ikaw, you got your start sa Chikiting Patrol, no? Sa GMA7 din, di ba?
Yes po.
Oo,
Opo.
uh, and what was that like? Kasi nag-host ka. I mean, that hindi yun pag-aartista, no? You were actually
Mhm. Yes.
hosting stories about real life, no? Kumbaga,
Mhm.
parang magazine show yon about
Yes
real
po.
people, real life, true to life things. And did that whet your appetite for more? Did that make you think, oh, okay pala na career yung ganito?
Actually, nung bata po, kasi when I started, 8 years old. So, medyo wala ka pang kamuang sa mundo doon. I was just really enjoying it because every weekend, the shoot is every Saturday. Every weekend, you're somewhere, you're eating something new, you're meeting new people, you're traveling, we get to travel. So parang nung bata po ako, naglalaro lang kasi may mga kasama rin ako na bata rin. So, enjoy lang kami. But siguro when I was growing up, nung mga pa high school, pa college na, yung medyo nag-iisip ka na about the future, it made me realize that I actually want well, I actually don't want to work inside an office. As in yung 9 to 5 job na I do the same thing every day. Maybe that, I don't know if that was because of what I went through as a child, but naisip ko talaga po yun. Because when I was entering college, I had two options for course. It was communication arts, so journalism, and the other is applied math and finance. So, sabi ko, like the other one, I'm sure I'll be loaded, like after a few years lang. Pero, iniisip ko, pareho-pareho yung gagawin ko. And I'm sure it works for other people, but I feel like with my personality, hindi siya mag-work. So sabi ko, sige, let's go journalism track. And my mom also, she took journalism nung college siya. And she wanted to be a newscaster. But me, what I wanted to do, I wanted to write. I didn't want to be on TV. I just wanted to write long form. And I don't know, siguro po like one thing led to another and somehow I ended up on TV. So it's something that keeps the job interesting. Yung
Mm.
labas po tayo ng labas kapag nasa media ka. Kaya parang yun na nga parang naka 11 years na pala ako sa GMA.
Yeah.
Hindi ko naman malaya. Last week, I was 11 years with GMA. Hindi ko na malaya na ang tagal na pala. Dahil everyday iba yung ginagawa mo. Hindi ka nagbibilang ng araw na parang ang gaano katagal pa ba bago ako mag-retire kasi na-enjoy mo naman yung ginagawa mo.
Pero Mav, binibilang mo ba yung mga taon mo sa GMA News Online, no? Kasi
Pagka po kasama yon as a regular employee, 12 years, sir.
okay, kasi for the information of our listeners and viewers, no, nagsama tayo sa GMA News Online when I was
Mhm.
editor-in-chief, and we got you as a sports reporter because and you were not appearing on TV then. Although alam ko naging court
I
reporter ka, no?
I was appearing for another network for courtside. Nagko-courtside po ako ng basketball and football.
Okay, but we got you as a sports reporter and you were covering
Yes.
sports. You were
Sports
covering
also.
you were covering the ASCALs, and then we also got you to do some hosting online,
Yes po.
yung online sports
FPW.
namin, yes, yung For the Win, di ba? So sports was really a preferred beat, no, earlier in your career, and since then you have occasionally said na favorite mo pa rin yung mag-cover ng sports, no? I mean, I don't know if it's still your favorite, but
Mhm.
you have had a preference for sports coverage, and you have been assigned to cover Pacquiao, his fights, no? So why sports? Naging athlete ka ba? Ano yung nag-attract sa'yo sa sports journalism in particular?
Yung family ko po kasi nung lumalaki ako, yung dad ko, their four brothers, mahilig sila sa sports, particularly basketball. So lumalaki ako, nanonood din ako ng basketball with them, EBA, NBA. And kami yung mga klase ng bata na kapag summer, yung nasa sports clinic. Ganun po kami nung kapatid ko. So parang we tried a lot of sports. I I did swimming for a bit. But hindi na ako nag-UAAP. Hanggang high school lang po ako nag-swim. And I've tried a lot of sports. And I don't know, it's just really interesting to me kapag po nag-cover ng sports. Parang, because I'm such a sports fan, kapag nagko-cover ako nun, parang hindi siya talaga trabaho. Parang it comes very easy to me. And actually, when I applied sa GMA na TV, ang sabi po sa akin na parang actually we're looking for a female sports reporter kasi they had Mark Zambrano then. So may lalaki na parang bye naman ganyan. Siguro parang para si Ate Dayan Castillejo, something like that. So sabi ko, okay, sige po, I'll audition. But then nung pipirma na kami ng kontrata, ang sabi ni Ma'am Grace, sabi niya, actually, you're not just gonna cover sports, ha? Like, if there's no sports coverage, you're gonna do everything else. So me, at the time, I was like, okay po, but sa loob-loob ko, oh my God, hindi lang pala sport. Hindi lang pala sport yung gagawin ko. Kaya po, ayun, medyo nagulat din ako nung starting out, 'di ba, magpapanggabi ka pa, police beat, mga patayan, ganyan. Pero I think it was a good experience kasi ang dami kong nagawa na if I just stuck with sports, it wouldn't have happened. But if I had to choose pa rin po until now, like between beats, I still like sports. Mas again, ako sa sports.
Yeah, okay, but you were asked once kasi na, what have you been proudest of? And you said almost without missing a beat, no? Yung coverage mo ng Taal Volcano. You did not mention any sports coverage. You mentioned disaster coverage, no, which is kind of classic reportage. I mean, most journalists worth their salt have covered disasters or crimes and wars. I mean, yun talaga yung parang pag inisip mong journalism, no? Yun ang parang parang mandatory coverage, no? You have to cover crises, no, emergencies, no?
Mm.
But what was so memorable about that? Why did that, immediately come to mind when you were asked your question about, what has made you proud as a journalist? Anong klaseng coverage yung nag-instill ng pride sa iyo? Why did you say the Taal eruption coverage?
Mhm. Siguro po kasi like with all the sports coverage, especially yung mga Pacquiao coverage, of course they're big. But yun nga, like I said, I'm just having fun when I do that. But during the Taal coverage, sobrang out of my comfort zone. Like literally po, nag-iikot lang kami kasi metro-wide kami no, nag-iikot-ikot lang kami. And then biglang tumawag yung desk na, punta kang Tagaytay, pumutok yung Taal. Tapos parang ako, akala ko joke pa. Tapos sabi niya, hindi, totoo talaga, pumunta ka ng Tagaytay ngayon. So kami nung grupo parang, ano raw? And then pag akit pa lang po namin Santa Rosa Road, ano na siya, yung wala ka nang makita. And I never feared for my life, but I felt like I knew that it was something that was gonna be big. Parang hindi ito yung alam mo yun, regular lang na parang, umusok lang siya konti. Parang it was something that was gonna be big. And we went there. We were able to break it first on TV sa 24 Oras Weekend. And we stayed there the whole night na hindi namin alam kung saan po kami magsistay. Kasi nagsasara na nga yung mga hotels dahil pumuputok na yung Taal. But thank God there was one hotel na natira at nakitulog kami sa kanila. So this whole time, wala pa kaming um, masks. Wala, hindi kami handa talaga, covered in suit and usok. May mga bato-bato pa ako sa buhok ko. I was wearing normal clothes, so puro putik na ako. That was me for the whole night, overnight, ganun yung itsura ko. And I felt like I was pulled out of my comfort zone, like so far from my comfort zone na yun nga, I'm used to doing politics. You can maybe do politics. Sports, very easy. But then you do something like that where it's tasking physically also. That's what made it stand out. Dahil po, um, hindi ko rin alam kung ano i-expect ko eh. Kasi like, pag halimbawa po sa Baguio, medyo alam mo naman kung anong mangyayari eh, di ba? Parang, o dadaan yan, o malakas, o babaha. Pero after nun, alam mo na kung anong mangyayari. But this one, no one knew what was gonna happen. Like, puputok ba siya na full on na at in lava and everything? No one knew. And it was very exciting for me na syempre, ang sama naman, no, exciting for me. Pero, sorry sa mga naging biktima ng Taal, pero it was exciting from a journalist's point of view na you're in the middle of this unfolding na I don't think we're gonna see it again in our lifetime. So, and also, like, because of the news that we aired, na-alert na rin yung mga tao na parang, oh, wag na pupunta sa ganito, oh, pumunta na kayo sa ganito. So there's also that sense of duty na we're not just doing this to make ratings. You're actually doing this to like tell people this is what's happening, this is what you gotta do. And I think I played a little part in that, and that's what made me proud, and that's what makes it stand out dahil nga di ko talaga in-expect yung parang very regular work day. Tapos biglang may ganung mangyayari po.
Yeah. Well, when you said it excites you. I mean, and you were worried that people might misunderstand. I mean, I think what people need to understand is journalists want to be covering important stories. That's what we're wired for. That's what we're trained for. No, so the more important the story, the more we feel that we are serving the public, di ba? The more we feel that we're fulfilling our duty. I think that's what you really meant, di ba? Na kung ganun din. I mean, all journalists feel this excitement pag nasa gitna sila ng isang crisis at sila yung nagko-cover noon, no? Kasi kumbaga that's you don't live for ordinary coverage, no? We live for extraordinary, really unusual, unique, and tulad sinabi mo baka once in a lifetime na events, no? mag-cover ng ganun. But balikan ko lang yung sports, no? Kasi sabi mo nga it's something that comes more naturally for you. It's been easy, but at the same time, no, babae ka, sports are a macho beat, 'di ba? Most people we cover in sports are men, 'di ba? And I'm sure most of the athletes you covered are men, although sumisikat na rin yung ibang women's sports, yung mga women athletes, no? But most sports that make the news are about men, no, male athletes, and we know that male athletes have often also been in the news, not just for their sports achievements, but because of, domestic abuse, sexual harassment, ganun, ano. So I'm wondering, no, you're a woman covering a macho, quite masculine beat, no? Have you ever felt sexism, discrimination, misogynism, even sexual harassment on the beat?
Actually, like from the athletes themselves, there would be like some people na medyo magpapakit sa'yo, especially when I was younger. Pero I think because a lot of them I knew from college, because I was also covering sports in college, not just basketball, but different sports. So I knew a lot of them. They quickly realized na this is futile, like hindi siya hindi siya papatol. So even from the start of my coverage ng sports, a lot of them were like brothers to me. Like even I often get asked, Sir Howie, si Manny Pacquiao ba, did he ever hit on you? But the thing is, never talaga. And even the rest of the team Pacquiao, I feel like because I was the only reporter na medyo bata that was really staying with them for months and months during training camps, feeling ko parang akala nila younger sister na nila ako. Na minsan pa pag may lalapit sa akin na, I don't know, outside from Team Pacquiao, sila pa yung parang, oy, oy, wag niyo lalapitan yan, ganyan. And I think like sa sports industry, it's not from the athletes, but I've experienced it in a way from production people. Like I was doing sports for a while, and they want you to dress a certain way para mas sexy, mas visually appealing, and it wasn't something I was comfortable with. And they wanted the female reporters to report on the side stories, and then they also had male reporters na sila yung magre-report on sports, on the scores, on the stats, strategies. And I that was the part that was offending to me because I felt like I have more experience than these guys. Like I could write this like na nakapikit, and I'm being held back because I'm female and I have to dress this certain way. And I guess it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because that was the time I decided, okay, this is not working for me anymore. And the opportunity opened up in GMA na TV. So it all worked out in the end. Like with GMA, obviously we're all covered up, sir, kapag ka nag-cover tayo. And at the same time, I was able to cover sports for a very long time also. Like especially with the career of Manny Pacquiao, it was I was able to do something that I wanted, and it was at a comfortable circumstance compared to what I was doing before.
Okay, but mabuti nagkaroon ka ng opportunity sa iba, no, to pursue your profession. Pero what if another opportunity didn't arise, and you needed to keep your job, or you wanted to keep that job? Would you have pushed back? Would you have insisted on wearing what you thought was more appropriate attire? Kasi people listening might say, you retreated rather than stand your ground, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you try talking to them and explaining to them what you just said? Na sandali, no? I mean, I don't need to dress like that to be effective.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
At the time, it wasn't an option. If he said no, edi hindi ka na lang nila bibigyan ng games. So you would have like effectively lost your job also. But the good thing is, a few years later, they changed it na. So ngayon, the women are wearing business attire. So naka-suit na, and they're able to report also on game stuff, hindi na lang yung mga side story. So there was a change also. I'm not sure like what happened because it was a long time after I was gone that it happened, but I'm so happy because the younger ones who would have to do that, they don't have to deal with all that we dealt with before. And I think for for me personally, it was a nudge in the right direction because I feel na mas nagkaroon ako ng growth. Me personally, I had more growth when I moved to hard news and sometimes covering sports kesa if I stayed there. It's something that sports is something that will always be my first love, but I feel na parang career-wise, it was also the smarter move to go here.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, you have a very widespread social media presence, no? I mean, you're active on various social media platforms. Baka understatement pa nga yan eh. And then you post a lot of photos and videos are you able to monitor your comments at inaano mo ba yan? Pinifilter mo ba? Ini-screen mo? 'Di ba? I'm sure not everything is respectful. What do you do? How do you react?
Actually, no, I don't read comments. Pero kasi po yung notifications ko, for example, for Instagram, ang notifications ko is I would get notifications if a friend of mine, a person I follow, comments. But for any other comment, I wouldn't get notifications. So I don't really see them. There have been
You don't
times
delete. You
when
don't delete. Halimbawa, binabastos ka na because you know how culture is on social media, di ba?
mm,
Parang bastusan eh.
yeah.
Madalas, di ba? So you don't
Mm-mm.
that's you'll just allow it to stay there. You don't bother to filter, delete, ganon.
If I see it, I would. Sometimes, kasi nga po hindi ako masyado nagbabasa ng comments eh. But sometimes, there was a time na yung parents ko, ewan ko, siguro walang magawa, na mahilig magbasa ng comments. So sometimes, sila yung makakakita na parang, hoy, tingnan mo to, o ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. And then when I see it, then I would either delete it, block the person, report for spam, or sasagot ako. If it's something that I feel is valid issue. Like for example, there have been comments na it's not really an attack on me as a woman, but like an attack on my performance as a journalist. For example, sabihin nila, eh, biased ka naman eh, puro ito lang yung pinapakita mo, hindi mo pinapakita si ganito. Those things, instead of, I know that a lot of them would be trolls, but then sometimes I would reply to them anyway. Like I would reply to maybe one or two people and explain in a very logical manner, objective manner na actually I covered this, blah blah blah, ganyan. Because I feel na parang yung mga legitimate issues na ganon, if they go unanswered, parang baka isipin nila, ay, totoo pala, yung mga totoong tao na nakakabasa ng comments, na parang sabihin nila, ay, oo nga no, parang, oo nga no, bakit nga puro ganyan lang yung pinapakita niya? Bakit wala nitong mga ganito? But for the other comments na yung mga tungkol lang because I'm female and stuff like that, unless makita ko siya, they just stay there. So I'm sure marami doon. But if I see them, I block the person. Dahil medyo nakakatakot din, Sir Howie. Like, there have been people who message my family na pupuntahan nila ako, ganyan-ganyan. There were already restraining orders I had sa Senate. Because like some people would say na I would go there and I would like wait for you to come out. So I just reported it to the Senate para to make sure na walang lalapit, walang makakapasok na ganun. And
Was this a
but
reaction to any? Was this a reaction to any coverage or just a react? Just a
no,
Oo.
no, just to me, parang this person, I don't know, siguro developed an obsession. I don't know why. This person tried to follow me to La Union and then like tried to follow me sa Senate.
Pero
And I
napansin
felt
napansin
na,
mo na talagang may nagsustalk sa iyo or may nararamdaman mo lang or you actually witnessed this person doing that.
oh, this person, this was online pa lang. Kaya po
Okay.
nag-file na ako bago siya makarating. Kasi nahanap niya yung number ng mom ko for some reason. Called my mom and said, so parang papakilala siya, pupuntahan niya ako, ganyan. And me, if you're messaging me or commenting on my social media accounts, that's fine, that's normal. But when you try to find my family, try to find my mom's number, that's weird. So, I filed this. There was one person po na pumunta sa GMA. But unfortunately, we weren't able to get the picture or the identity of the guy. So that one still messages every now and then on social media, pero thank God, hindi na siya bumalik po sa GMA. So hindi naman kami nakita ever.
Well, that's just one of the risks, no, sa pagiging journalist, and there are even bigger risks as we know, no. There we get death threats, and we get trolled, we get hate messages, etc. No, but we generally we love what we do. Pero yung malaki din yung sinasacrifice ng maraming journalists, especially socially, kasi you yourself have said na marami kang family events, for example, na hindi ka naka-attend dahil nga sa coverage, may assignment ka, may biglang assignment, and we know that leaves, vacations are often canceled because something happens, and you've seen many of our colleagues, they've had to do the same, even once with children, etc. No, and many of our colleagues are mothers and fathers, no, so and of course women are under more social pressure because if they're not married, they're under more social pressure to get married, and to have children, but this job really keeps us busy, so my question is, taking all of that into consideration, is journalism worth it?
I think so. Because, well, the cliche, if I don't do it, who else will? And I feel like I have enough grit to do it. And my family's been very supportive. They've been very understanding. At first, of course, hindi. Kasi parang sila, ano ba yan? What's happening? You're not here for Christmas, you're not here for New Year, you're not here on your birthday. And I feel like they've adjusted na rin because they know that this is what I really want to do. And I think it's not just a certain kind of person that gets to practice journalism for a long time. It's a certain kind of social circle. Kasi po hindi lang tayo, like what you said, Sir Howie, hindi lang tayo yung affected. When you're a journalist, you affect your family, you affect your friends, you affect everybody around you because they have to all consider your schedule, your job. And I've been very blessed because even my friends are very understanding na parang kapag meron akong, hindi pala ako makakapunta, they're okay with it. And I feel like until I'm physically limited to do this, I would be doing this for a very long time. Like maybe ask me again, Sir Howie, if and when I have a kid, but but for the time being, I think I'm going to stay for a very long time. I really enjoy it, and I feel like there are a lot more stories to tell, and I feel like ang dami pang kailangan gawin. So I don't think I'm gonna be going away soon.
Okay, that's really wonderful to hear, and it's a great note to end on. So muchas gracias, Mav Gonzales.
Gracias.
Yeah. Enjoy your travels. Enjoy your travels in Spain and other countries in Europe.
Thank you.
And be safe, and we're looking forward to your next stories on TV and on Eyewitness. Mabuhay ka at ingat ka palagi, Mav.
Thank you, Sir Howie. Maraming salamat po. Thank you po to everybody who tuned in. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Howie Severino. Check out the Howie Severino Podcast, an original for GMA News and Public Affairs. New episodes will stream every Thursday. Listen for free on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms.